Hello, and welcome to another exciting episode of Way of the Brush, with me, your host, Kris, aka Mini Wargamer Kris, aka The Name Butcher, aka Hey You Get Off My Lawn. Way of the Brush, the most informative 120 minutes on the internet on the wargaming lifestyle. We'll talk about painting, terrain, conversions, and everything under the sun. We usually delve into a lot of painting talk as well as a lot of what's under the sun, meaning no topics are barred. We'll talk about anything, life in general, politics, movies, TV, music, models, history, who knows? The topics can go anywhere, and they usually do end up going any which way. So if that kind of format kind of has you triggered, too bad. And so, Way of the Brush. You can join, if you're attending live, you can ask your comments in the live portion of the show, and in the comment section. Of course, if you're watching after the fact, you can always, leave a comment down below, or you can send me an email, Kris@miniwargaming.com. It's in the description down below. Of course, it also has a link to wayofthebrush.com, which is the central hub of all this silliness. Basically, it has all the links to all the social medias, the Twitters, the Instagrams, the Facebook, and of course the links to the Discord channel, which has been a lot of fun. If you are looking to talk and connect with other people, Discord really is the way to go. I'm on the thing all the time. I have it up on my either my cell phone or my computer, and I'm usually available if something you need help with something or whatever, or you just want to chat about whatever. By all means, feel free to send me a message. Although usually I'm at work most of the time, so don't be surprised if it takes a while for me to answer. Of course, if you want help, I mean, we have many channels in our Discord and many categories from, painting to, displaying your models to terrain now. We just added a terrain channel to it. And so, again, join us on Discord. Again, the links are down below. And, of course, if you go to wayofthebrush.com, there's also links for that. And, of course, wayofthebrush.com also has links for T-shirts. They help the cause. And, you want to look, like a connoisseur of all that is good and holy in this universe. And, they're all wearing a Way of the Brush shirt. Just saying. Also, links at wayofthebrush.com for the monkey shrine. Everybody who's purchased a shirt, please send me a picture of yourself in your monkey shirt so I can add it to the shrine, because, again, Way of the Brush is really all about you guys and helping you guys and, answering your emails, answering your questions. If you guys didn't bother me, if you guys didn't bother me with emails and questions and stuff like that, I wouldn't do the show. I just wouldn't do it, be no point. I would just do my own thing. But I like helping you guys, and I love helping new people, and I love dispelling a lot of these myths and, things like that. It just, making everybody better painters is really what I strive for. And so, my goal is to always make you guys better. And of course, a lot of longtime viewers will know the monkeys are very knowledgeable folk too, so you can always ask your questions of them as well in the chats or in the Discords or wherever, the Facebook and, everywhere. Oh, and the other thing is too, of course, wayofthebrush.com also has links to the Patreon. Gotta thank my patrons, because, without them, a lot of these upgrades and, fun stuff just would not be available. And so I always have to thank my patron supporters. Again, if you're considering Patreon support, sure, thank you. And, I only ever charge per Way of the Brush. I usually have a bunch of other videos I do, and, I do on this Twitch as well. And sometimes, every once in a blue moon, I'll do something on Facebook, whatever. But I only ever charge for Way of the Brush, and that's usually only every Saturday. So I think you can kind of figure out the math from there, right? Again, again, it's really all about you guys, and you know, for me to give thanks to you guys and your patron support, I dedicate my time. And starting tomorrow, we're going to be starting our brand new project. We're going to start a little bust model. We're going to start right from the assembly phase, take it all the way to a finish. We're probably going to take a little while on this one, patrons, because I think I think we all want to do a really nice job, and so, you know, we're going to spend some time with this model. So don't worry, it's not going to be wrapped up in an easy 2 months. We might take some time on this one. What else? Oh, and of course, before I always forget, because I end up forgetting, a big thanks to Guymere Alfer, aka Carl, aka Beer and Blood Bowl. That's his YouTube channel. Check him out for the email jingles that we do before every email segment. And, you know, a big thanks to him for dedicating his time and donating his talent. And yeah, so always a big thanks to Carl. And of course, if you love yourself some beer and some Blood Bowl, check him out. I'm sorry, I'm just raising up my chair. My chair keeps lowering. It's kind of like my pants. My pants keep falling down these days, and my chair is doing the same thing to me. My pants and my chair. My God, man. I mean, you don't know if I'm wearing pants or not. I might be sitting here in my undies. You don't know. I'm not. I've got pants on. Don't worry. I even got socks on. It's Saturday and I've got socks on. I'm dressed like I'm ready to go somewhere. So, where are we at here? Holy moly, we got all sorts of comments here. I gotta make sure I'm displaying all my proper information here. Oh, go away. Yep. And the Twitch is somewhat quiet at the moment. That's fine. Of course, we got Raziel showing up today. What's up, monkeys? And of course, Raziel was the first winner in my t-shirt challenge, Way of the Brush t-shirt challenge. Putting a Way of the Brush t-shirt on a Space Marine. Of course, he interpreted it as, you know, a Space Marine model. And so he sculpted it. And of course, you can go back 2 videos and you'll see the big congratulations. And of course, he won himself a prize. And so, yeah. And of course, today, I posted another video before the show today. The big prize winner. The big prize winner, of course, is Dark Commission. And we'll get to that shortly. Jim White, prepare for the 22 caliber show with impact. Congo, hey yo, Twitch Canos, hey guys, how's it going? Sir Peanut Butter, morning monkeys. Steve McDemon, love that name, Steve McDemon. Hey y'all, Geo Fits, morning Chris and fellow monkeys, morning Geo. Ghost Starman Ducks, hey monkeys, did a spooky-ish D&D one-shot yesterday to celebrate Halloween. Much sugar was consumed. Oof. I know, there's an overabundance of little candies sitting around my house right now. Man, my diabetic ass. I mean, like, would you leave a bunch of heroin around for a heroin addict? You know? Would you leave a bunch of alcohol bottles around for an alcoholic? Why would you leave a bunch of sugary little treats for a sugarholic, you know? Anyway. Saladone, hello all. What's up, Tart? Chris, why you consider me as bad monkey, sir? All my one feeling is hurt. Because I knew it would get your attention, and you're a bad monkey. And if you want to be a good monkey, just ask. Say, Chris, can I be a certified good monkey? And actually, we don't have that channel in the Discord, so you're just a bad monkey. You're going to stay a bad monkey. Be glad I didn't put you in the tinfoil hat wearing monkey. Yeah, that's for the crazy monkeys. Nitfink, hello everyone. Hello, Nitfink. George Hintz, hi. Hi. Jim White, in D&D term, Chris can dispel myth in a level 1 spell. Dispel myth, level 1 spell? Yeah, I'm a level 1 dispeller of myths. Like level 1 myths, like, you know, will chewing bubblegum stay in your intestines for, 10 years? Or, I don't know. If you cross your eyes for a long time, you'll stay like that, right? That's level 1 myth stuff. That's some level 1 stuff, so. Dark Commission. Hi, Chris and monkeys. Good job. I checked daylight savings. Steve Lyons. Aloha, Chris. Greetings from Ireland. Going to crack a beer and enjoy the show. That sounds good. What's a good Irish beer? Because if I ever find my way in Ireland, find my way in Ireland. Find my way in Ireland. Anyway, I love to imbibe every once in a while some Jameson, some Bushmills. Those are probably my two favorites. Jameson. Bushmills is a long-time favorite. I've been a fan of Jameson since way back there. Way back. Bushmills. Bushmills Black. Oh, man. But Jameson, yeah, Jameson. I've been a recent convert to Jameson, so... Anyway. Sorry, I was going off. I was saying, oh, yeah. It's been a while since I've tasted the sweet nectar of... Anyway. Fear School. Morning all. Morning. Enforcer 357. Sup, everyone? Just wanted to drop by, say hi to all the monkeys, and Kris, of course, hope y'all have a great stream. Great stream. There's an obvious P joke there, but, you know, I can't quite spit it out. Ha! Dark Commission, episode 225, all dressed up, nowhere to go. That's good. That's good. Enforcer corrected Kris, yeah. Solid Ohm. Oh, okay. Sir Peanut Butter. So I was at Warhammer Citadel last night, and I accidentally bumped their 3-foot statue of Gabriel Angelos, knocked his right arm and hammer to the floor where they shattered to pieces. Rip. Rest in peace. Oh my God, no way you did that. No way. Did you get pictures of it? Send me a picture or two. Send me a picture or two. I'm assuming you documented it. Somebody documented it, please. Or would you rather like keep Sir Peanut Butter as anonymous and, you know, everybody's kind of I don't know, you know. I don't know what happened there. Steve McDemon, just to put it out there, Citadel Air is the single worst thing to ever have been in contact with my airbrush. Why would that be? I mean, it's Citadel paint, just thin, right? Unless maybe the paint sat a while, separated. I don't know. I don't know. I was just using Citadel Airs just the other day. They were sitting for a while before I got around to them again. The only thing is, I mean, like I said, like the Citadel Air, I mean, they're just like the Citadel paints, just thinner, of course, for the airbrush, right? The only thing that, like, you know, I raise an eyebrow at is the premium price tag. You know, for how little you get, and anybody who airbrushes a lot knows that, you know, you burn through your paint quite fast, right? I mean, you know, like a good sized bottle for a price, and it's not just because I'm a fan of the work, but is Minotaur. Like, you get a good price for a Minotaur bottle, and it's like, I think a 2 fluid ounce or 1 fluid ounce, and you're paying like what, $10 for a bottle, and you get tons of paint. It flows right through the brush. You don't even have to thin it. And it's color matched pretty closely to Citadel, or I should say the most popular color line, right? So, yeah, you know, I like Minotaur. They're good. I mean, for the value, what you get, ease of use, and availability of colors, I mean, what's not to like? Yeah, Citadel Air, I mean, if you feel like spending, you know, that premium price tag on little pots of airbrush paint, by all means. Like, if you don't really airbrush that often, by all means, you know. If you can't get Minotaur paints, by all means, right? But, you know, I guess I'm spoiled for choice, I guess, maybe. Maybe I'm spoiled. Solid Ohm, got a question if you or anyone can answer with regard to modeling. Is there anything you can apply or think about when modeling your models? For example, I consider the silhouette of the models. Okay, question in regard to modeling. If there's anything you apply or think about when modeling your models. For example, I consider the silhouette of the models. Well, the silhouette of the models, sure. I mean, you know, that's the distinction. I mean, like the silhouette of a Space Marine is synonymous with Warhammer and Games Workshop, right? You know, Eldar, the silhouette of an Eldar is quite distinct, right? Citadel of a Tyranid, you know, silhouette of, you know, anything. That's why I've often had the trouble with like War Machine and Infinity, The factions all look very similar. At least they used to be, I should say. I haven't really given them a good look these days, but in the past, I felt this way, and you know, the silhouettes were just indistinguishable from each other. Like I couldn't get into them. I had a hard time. War Machine was a hard sell for me. War Machine was a very hard sell for me, and it wasn't until I don't even know when I moved down here into Welland, and everybody here was playing War Machine at the time. Then that's when I kind of got into it. I started playing it, and I got past the visual aesthetics of it. And at the time, there was some more cooler looking sculpts coming out. But otherwise, yeah, the visual aesthetics of it, the silhouettes didn't really do it for me. But as far as when you're modeling, and you're considering it, I mean, a lot of times with the GW models, the models are fixed pose. You can't even do anything with them, so I don't know. Or were you just asking that question to be a troll? I'm thinking you're asking that question to be a troll. Because Tarek, you're a troll. And that's why you're in the bad monkey section. Goes to Starman Deluxe. Wearing socks on a Saturday. Geez, Kris, you should be ashamed. I should be ashamed, but I'm not. Anthony B. Just finished the Chug a Mug mini wargaming episode. Much funny. Sad to see the Q Mug. How's the weather, eh? The weather is cold and damp. It's pretty cold. It's still damp here. There's no rain, but it's damp. We're supposed to get some sun this weekend, so who knows? I mean, it's got to dry up because, man, the leaves are changing around here, and like the ground is just covered in leaves. It's been too wet to like rake them up and everything like that, so it's kind of annoying and it's kind of an eyesore. But I mean, it looks kind of nice because the leaves are just blanketing everything. Personally, I like when it gets really cold like this. I don't like the dampness, but I like when it starts getting colder and we get into winter. Basically because because the air is just so fresh and crisp and clean smelling. There's no lingering odors of things around. The air is just frigid cold, and I'm sinking again. And so yeah. That's what I like. It's when it's getting really cold. I like winter. I'm a fan of winter. I like winter and I like summer. I'm not a huge fan of the fall. I'm not a huge fan of the spring. Mainly because it's extra moisture in the air. It's raining all the time because spring's lots of rain, fall's lots of rain. It's getting cold. Fall, the leaves and everything like that, and the moisture and everything like that, the decaying leaves, it starts to smell like feet sometimes, and it's like, no thanks. So anyway, yeah. And as far as the Chug-a-Mug episode is concerned, yeah, that was dreadful. Of course, there's a couple more, and there's some good ones coming. And so, like, that one was just, to get everybody back into the silliness of Chug-a-Mug, because the next couple, I don't know how Steve and Rob broke it up, but I'm pretty sure, like, because there's like one that's in the free, one that'll be in the vault, and I think there might be another one that'll be free, and another one in the vault, and something like that. So, but don't worry, there's more coming. If you enjoy the Chug-a-Mug challenge, there's more coming. Saladome. Also, when it comes to poses, I keep a mind how the normal body would pose. For example, when walking, you would swing your left hand forward while your left leg is behind you because of body balance. Yeah? Sure? I mean, are you modeling your Space Marines in such a fashion that they're all just kind of walking? Or, you know what I mean? Because there's not a lot of customizability in current Space Marine kits, especially like the Primaris. They're all single pose. It's all, everybody's got the same guys, So... there should be more customizability in the posing. Steve McDemon. I've tried Avalanche, Sunset, Flash Gits, and Abaddon Black, and they keep all clogging up the brush. I did thin it. Regular Citadel thinned works fine. Interesting. Maybe it's a bad batch. Well, that's 3 colors, though. They're all bad batches, I guess. That seems like a stretch. Yeah, I'm not sure why to clog up in your brush. Because Citadel air is thinner. But, I mean, I don't know. Yeah, if you found all 3 colors clogging, and you thinned it, I wouldn't know. Because I mean, if you can push, and you can push, and I use a Patriot 105 most of my work, and I've pushed regular Citadel colors through the brush. Just turn the PSI up and just hammer back, and it goes. So yeah. Yeah. So Steam, I'm not sure exactly why that would be clogging. Doesn't make a lot of sense. Oftentimes, though, the amount of paint we're putting into the brush can also increase the odds of clogs. I might have mentioned this before, but typically whenever I'm using my brush, I often don't fill it all the way to the top or even halfway. It's very, very rare I'll even go halfway. Usually I'm only maybe a quarter or a third of the way from where the needle is sitting. I only come up like a millimeter or two up from that, and I'll spray, you know, and then I'll reload, spray, you know, because like if you have too much, then it's gonna the instance of that paint on the surface drying and, you know, and then becoming particles is more likely, right? Whereas if it's very short and you're just burning through it really fast, less likely of clogs. And I usually don't ever end up with clogs. Last time I was, you know, stressing about clogs, I was playing with primers. So, you know, usual colors. I mean, dry tip is a usual thing. Keep your needle lubed, and that reduces dry tip. But otherwise, dry tip is just invariably a problem with airbrushing. Just because, especially when you have the PSI up and you're holding it just a little bit and you're just letting minuscule amount of paint come through, and it's a thin body paint, and it just invariably is going to build up on that needle as it's flying past. Just a nature of the game. It's just going to happen. So, you know, there's not much you can do about that. But yeah, preventing clogs and stuff like that, yeah. You might consider how much paint you're using in your cup. Sir Peanut Butter. I found out later it was a limited edition $1,500 statue. I was too embarrassed to document my disarming of Gabriel. Damn, dude. Damn. That's like going to the Louvre and, you know, accidentally tripping and putting your hand through the Mona Lisa or something, you know? Jim White. How does Minotaur compare to Golden High Flow ink? High Flow ink or the High Flow paints? Because they're paints, not inks. I use the High Flow all the time. In fact, that's how I did all this. All these guys right here. This is all Golden High Flow. I use Golden High Flow because, well, you spend maybe about $15 to almost $20 per bottle, but you get some large capacity bottles. Like they're like 6 ounces, 8 ounces. Can't remember. Anyway, they're the bigger golden bottles I have. Anyway, yeah, this, I mean, I took the yellow. Oh, I can't remember what yellow was. I can't remember. Anyway, I added some sienna to it. Like I basically added I filled up the well in my airbrush to about a third of the way, and then added 3 drops of this sienna, and that gave me a deep yellow. And then I did an underspray of transparent umber, Golden's transparent umber, and I sprayed it on the underside to get me some shadows. And then I sprayed it from the top with the yellow again. I added a little bit of white and just went real close like that, just to get a very zenithal kind of look. And that's that. Do we want a close up of this? Probably not. It's still just underpainting. I mean, it's, you know, but you know, I thought this model would be bigger. I was disappointed by this guy. He's not very big. Oh, I guess he's big. But anyway, yeah, so that's currently what's on my desk I'm working on. But, yeah, Golden High Flow, excellent colors. They cover so well. I'm a big fan of Carbon Black and Titanium White. I use those colors all the time. In fact, I'm actually getting kind of low, I think. Yeah, I use Golden all the time. If you got large things of models to do, pick yourself up some Golden, because you're gonna need it. And I mean, spending $20 on a bottle might seem like a lot, but you're gonna use a lot. And the thing is the paint is such a rich pigment, and when it dries, it's like right to the surface. Now, some of them dry with a bit of a gloss, some of them dry with a bit of a matte, but otherwise, you know, I mean, like I said, I mean, that big deal how the paint is drying, because I usually seal them, and especially if you're doing large batches of them, and you know, you're most likely doing game pieces, like, you know, or you're a commission painter or something like that, right? I mean, you know, large capacity work is not the domain of most display competition type painting, right? Usually it's one model over the course of weeks, right? Versus doing hundreds of models in the course of a week, right? So, yeah. But how do the two compare? Like I said, golden can dry with a gloss. You get a lot. Minotaur is color matched to the most common paint line, you know, whereas golden, it's artist color. You have to mix. If you want a color that matches, you know, say like Citadel paint lines, you have to match that yourself. And if you don't know how to color match, you're going to struggle using these colors. So, there you go. Steve McDamon. The reason I wanted Citadel is because I like the yellow most of all the brands. Yes, Citadel yellow is good. The Citadel Air yellow, I've never had any problems with it. Yeah, it covered just fine. Avalanche Sunset's a good color. Avalanche Sunset's a real good color because it sits on top of black really well. Like in just a couple coats. Like if you just do a couple thin coats, it sits on top of black really, really well. Saladome, LOL, there's a character limit. I can't explain myself in 200 characters or less. Alright. So apparently the president of Proxon is at my somewhat nearby Hobbytown store today. I wanted to go meet him, but got stuck at home being house husband. Well, you know, it's alright, Razio. Yeah. As the expression goes, happy wife, happy life. Right? That goes with any relationship, really. I mean, you know. If you got your honey-do list to do, you might as well bust it out and start getting to it, you know. Rather than getting dirty looks or the silent treatment later on. That goes for everybody. Jim White, I can purchase golden high flow with ease, but not Minotaur. Well, then you might want to consider using some golden. If you notice, like in my paint setup in my office, you'll notice my top shelf is all golden colors. Those are all high flow colors I use. And I use them pretty often. But like I said, like the high flow line, it's like an artist line. So there's only the bare essentials of colors needed. You have to mix the colors. So if you want a color like, you know, Strachan green, you got to mix that color. And you're not going to find it in golden high flow. You're going to have to mix that color. If that's what you're looking for. Because otherwise it's the pure colors. And so you got to mix it. And if you struggle with color mixing, you're going to struggle with the paint line. Because you're just going to be like, I don't get it. And you're just going to end up using the pure chromas. And, you know, that's kind of boring. That's not the point, right? So, yeah. But if you want to go with golden, by all means. I use golden. I like them. I like golden. The high flow line is awesome. It's awesome. Just fantastic colors. And they even have some neons. I haven't played with their neons, but yeah, or fluorescence, not neon, but you know what I mean. Raziel. I never ever liked the aesthetics of War Machine. Infinity, I like a lot better. War Machine, because it's a steampunk setting, and I don't know, the sculpts were just kind of, they just weren't there. They were inconsistent, at least back in the day. Nowadays, because everything's like CADed and stuff, and it's all done on computer, and you know what I mean, you can get a lot more consistency in the scales, and blah, 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 right? Whereas Infinity, the sculpts are great. I have no issue with the sculpts for Infinity. My complaint with in the past, I have not really paid attention to the line today. So I could be completely wrong with how it's going today. But in the past, the silhouettes of the models were all very similar because of this anime aesthetic that they have with the models. You know, I couldn't tell, you know, Oceania from Hack Islam. You know what I mean? Like, I couldn't tell the difference. You know what I mean? If you were looking at just the bare silhouettes of the models, how could you tell? How could you tell? You know? So, you know, yeah. In the past, I mean, I have no idea. They might have diverged the factions so that, you know, they're like aesthetically they're different looking, right? Because I mean, like in Warhammer, a Space Marine, an Imperial Guard, Tyranid, Eldar, right? The silhouette, they're all different. You know which faction you're dealing with. In a game with multiple factions. Whereas I found with the other games, yeah, it's... What's the draw? Like, you know what I mean? Like because when you're getting into the game, right? Typically, a lot of people will tell you, pick the models you like. Like, I tell this to people all the time. Pick the models you like, right? That look cool to you. Go with cool first before figuring out the rules and what really is a good army and blah, 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 right? And really, that's kind of not the case right now with Warhammer, because all the codexes are pretty much out, I think, right? So we've got all the codexes for all the armies. So everybody's in the current meta. And, you know what I mean? And so really, somebody who's entering Warhammer 40,000 right now has a really good chance of getting a good army with good aesthetics, and, you know what I mean? And the models look really cool to them, right? You know. But, I mean, when you're looking at the game system and all the models and all the factions are indistinguishable, how do you choose the faction? How do you choose a faction? Reading the rules? That's boring. I don't want to do that. I want something that's going to look cool on a tabletop. You know what I mean? Like, because when you're playing these games, it's a very cinematic kind of vibe. You know what I mean? Like, you're imagining these little guys are running around and are all shooting at each other and crap's exploding, and, you know, there's tanks rumbling through or jets flying by, and, you know what I mean? It's a battle. It's a pitched battle. And, you know, when we're playing our game, that's how we're imagining it. And so why wouldn't you pick something that's going to stimulate that part of your brain, you know? Like, if Space Marines are just the coolest thing to you, then, you know, play Space Marines, right? You know, if it's Tyranids and monsters and stuff like that, go with Tyranids, right? Demons, you know, robots, whatever, right? Exactly. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, it's the aesthetics. You know? Anyway. Salad Home, so rude. I'm not a troll. You are a troll, Tark, don't lie. Grim over on Twitch. Hey, y'all. How y'all doing? We're doing pretty good. Raziel, I missed something. What's sad about the Q-Mug? I don't know. What's sad about the Q-Mug? Anthony B, supposed to be almost 80 degrees the next couple days. Why did I pick to live in the desert? I don't know. Why are you living in the desert? Dark Commission, a drop of Vallejo airbrush thinner mixed into the Citadel paint works really well. Yeah. Well, he thinned it. I don't know what he thinned it with, but yeah, he said he thinned it. I don't know. Rezia, I use flow aid in the airbrush a lot. I don't know if that's entirely necessary. You really don't need to use flow aid in your airbrush. I mean, you can. It's not going to hurt anything. Because basically, by using a drop of flow aid, which you don't have to do, but if by adding a drop or two, a drop is probably all you need, it increases the surface tension of the paint. So when you're spraying it, it should cover, theoretically, better, right? It should adhere to the surface. If you over thin and you have a lot of flow aid running in it, it could become quite watery, and it could just, you know, act like a shade wash and just end up falling into the recesses, stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like, but that's holding it down. That's really kind of, I don't think really what's happening a lot there. But no, flow aid's not necessary. A lot of these airbrush, like if you bought airbrush paints, like I said, like we're talking about like Golden or Minotaur, you don't often have to thin them. Now, when you're I'm talking like when we're laying base coats, and, you know, about 80% of the work we typically are doing with our airbrushes. If you're going with a fine tip needle and you're going to do some, you know, lightning bolts or something like that, then yes, you will use your airbrush color and use a bit of airbrush thinner. You know, so it basically is just, you know, blank medium going in, right? And that's all you're doing. You're thinning down, so you're turning your pressure down. You're thinning the color out so it flows much more smoothly, and it's not as saturated as it's coming out. So, you know what I mean? You're not getting a big blast of color and it's bang, it's like right there on your surface, right? You're slowly building up, because when we're getting into some fine work with our miniatures, we often want to thin the colors down, we want to turn the PSI down, and we want to get in nice and close and slowly build that color up. But as we do that, we often run into dry tip and things like that, and clogging can be an issue because you're sitting there for a bit trying to slowly build up that color. You know what I mean? So, yeah. which is better than the alternative than just hitting it and you know, you got a big blast of color on your model and you go, oh, no. So, yeah. Anthony B, episode 225, got to keep your needle lubed. You do have to keep your needle lubed. You do. That sounds silly, but yeah, everybody's airbrushers. Take your needle out, get yourself like glycerin or whatever. Not glycerin, but a lubricant, and then just lube your needle and put it back in. And, you know what I mean? If dry tip is a real problem. But every time you go into a cleaning session, you should always re-lube your needle. Grim, I heard a story of someone accidentally putting his elbow through one of a kind Picasso worth millions. That was quite the story when it hit the papers, it seems. Yeah, I remember something like that not too long ago. Yeah. Jim White, the Mona Lisa is behind bulletproof glass, so if he put his hand through the painting, he'd be a villain with superpowers. I'm just saying an example, it's not literal. We don't have to take every goddamn thing I say literally. Literally? Literally. Come on, it's too early to be aggravating me yet. Bad monkey. You're going to get up in the bad monkey category, Jim. Jim, I have golden paints by my left hand as a type. Thanks for the explanation. Yeah. Like I said, like the golden paint line, I mean, like the high full line, I mean, like there's not a lot of colors. I think it's like 50 colors, which is not a lot in comparison to, say, like Citadel, which is like 170 colors now. You know, when GW's line used to only be like 70 colors. But anyway, yeah. If you like color matching and stuff like that, one of the things I often thought of doing, and I've thought of it, I don't know if I'd really want to do it because then I'd be inclined to do it for everything. But anyway, was taking golden paints, getting little bottles, and color matching the bottles. Basically making recipes for a golden paint line for everybody who's bought golden colors, and making little recipes for, you know, color matching, right? But I don't know if I feel like doing that. That's a lot of work. Ramvi, hey monkeys, hey Kris. Damn, forgot wintertime change. What, did the clocks change? I thought the clocks changed tomorrow. Or maybe for you guys it already changed. I don't know. Either way. Solid Ohm, to your point about choosing models, one of the three things you do in the model: modeling, painting, and gaming. 2/3 of those is all about the hobby and looking at the model. So I agree with you. Well, yeah, I mean, you know, that's why we have display shelves. Well, at least any of us who really appreciate the model. Some of us are gamers, they stay in the bags, and, you know what I mean? And you only take models out when you're gaming, right? And there's nothing wrong with that, because, you know, some people are really, you know, one side of it, right? They're really gamers, and some people are entirely painters and never game, right? So there's, you know, and everybody's in between. Everybody's a degree in between, right? And so, you know, some of us, like, I like to think of myself kind of in the middle of gamer and painter. I like to think of myself as right in the middle. But I'm probably sometimes, depending on my mood, really, it's kind of, I lean to more towards painter. Then sometimes I lean towards more of the gamer, and you know what I mean? So, either way, yeah. And I mean, with the models, you know, and putting them in the display shelf, and you put them there, and you got the lights, and you know what I mean? And bang, you know? And there's nothing wrong with that. And in fact, I fully encourage it because, you know, you appreciate it. And of course, you know, I mean, when you have friends and family come over to your house and they come in, they look at your den and then they go, wow, what is all that? And you go, I painted those. And they say, wow, look at all those details. How can you see that tiny little detail? And you know what I mean? Like, and it sparks the interesting conversation. I mean, I think now as we've progressed into you know, geek culture and the widespread acceptance of everything nerdy these days, I think there's no, you know, display your Warhammer armies or your Infinity armies or your War Machine armies or whatever miniatures you're into, or even just the little vinyl statues, man. I'm eyeballing a bunch of those lately. I don't know what it is, but I've been eyeballing a bunch of the large scale figurines and stuff like that, and like, I think I have to get myself. Same with Gundams. I keep talking about this. I want to pick myself a Gundam. There's a Canadian Gundam retailer, and the model I want, he's sold out, and it's on back order, and I don't know, like, it's annoying. Anyway, Ramvi. I got myself my very first airbrush cool of weeks ago. A couple of weeks ago. Very cool. Awesome. If you're a Vault member, I definitely would recommend you go into the Mini Wargaming Vault. We have an excellent series for beginners. Everything airbrush, done by Austin. Brush for Hire is now Death Ray Designs. He did a wonderful, wonderful introduction into airbrushing, learning the anatomy, cleaning, you know what I mean, and, you know, control issues and stuff like that. So it's a really good series. I definitely would recommend it. And if you haven't, you know, seen it before. So, and if you're not a Vault member, well, I don't know what you're doing with your life then. Goes to Starman Deluxe. If I bought the Mona Lisa, there would be nothing to stop you from eating it. True, because it would be my property, right? Unless, of course, some group slapped a historical tag on it and prevented me from, you know, ruining it or anything like that. But even then, I mean, it's my property, right? Ghost Starman Deluxe. Clocks changed last week over here. Oh, yeah? No. I mean, I don't know. Maybe they did change. I don't know. It should be on the calendar when Daylight Savings kicks in. But anyway. Saladome red highlights. Thinking about Troll Slayer orange, then Luganath orange for stronger highlight. But will that be too much? What will be the effect on going with those colors as highlights on a red base? What would be the effect? You'd have a very saturated red orange color scheme. You know, typically we often use, well, essentially we use yellow to highlight red, right? Takes it through the orange spectrum to keep it kind of fiery, kind of, you know, warm. Because typically if we use white, we end up into the pink category, right? So that's often why we're doing it. But the effect of it is going to give you a very saturated red. I mean, if the base is red and you are edging in Luganath orange and, you know, Fire Dragon bright, I mean, you're going to end up with a very red with bright edges kind of thing, right? It's going to be a very kind of glowy kind of effect, you know? So, yeah. But that's the typical way of building up those colors. I mean, you know. Yeah. Felt like Troll Slayer orange as final highlight didn't pop. No. Typically with reds, here's the color progression. I typically go with reds. If I'm going to go like full spectrum, full brightness, full saturation, full intensity, I'll go with something like Mephiston red, Evil Sun. If we're playing with Citadel colors, of course, current Citadel colors, Mephiston red, Evil Sun scarlet, Wild Rider red, Troll Slayer orange, Fire Dragon bright, and then Uriel yellow, something along those lines. Typically, I'll do that even for gemstones. I'll pull those colors like that. Well, I might skip a color here and there, but, you know. Raziel, Kris, yeah, I try to keep fine control on how much flow aid I use. Having a bottle and a dropper tip, it just seems to work well for me with lots of paints in my brush. Sure. Flow aid that, I mean, if it's Liquitex flow aid, now, I mean, mind you, I mean, like some products are called flow aid, but they're just a medium. Whereas Liquitex flow aid, when I'm talking about that, that's a surface tension medium. So I don't know what flow aid you're using, you know, because I know like is it Reaper? Reaper has flow improver, and it's not the same thing. It's just a medium. It's just a medium. But anyway, see, that's why I talked about this. I think last week when I was talking about paint lines and they use stupid ass names. I can't stand it. I prefer like golden. That's why I like golden, because I mean, like, it's typical artist colors, like from, you know, hundreds of years ago, like titanium white, right? I mean, carbon black. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, these are the colors, you know, like when I'm using my oil paints, I mean, like, these are the colors I know, and you know what I mean? Like, don't give me mermaid, fuchsia, you know what I mean? Oh, anyway. It's just too damn confusing is what it is. And, you know, hippy dippy names. Damn hippies. Ramvi, Kris, Being a Vault member for many years. Many years? For many years. Well, for many. Cool. So then you've probably are familiar with the series I mentioned. If not, look it up. Airbrush. Just type in Airbrush in the search engine and it should pull up. If it doesn't, message me on Discord. Raziel, have seen a lot of painters liking to highlight their reds with bone, like Ushabti bone or even Screaming Skull. Heard that from quite a few Blood Angel players. Yeah, I can see that. I've not, at least I don't think I've ever done it. Usually I take, like, whenever I'm dealing with reds, I usually only go that way. Otherwise I end up with pinks and stuff like that. But Ushabti bone and Screaming Skull are good ones to use, because they have that hint of yellow in them. And that's why they're pretty good. I like using Screaming Skull just to highlight every damn color. You know what I mean? Highlight black with Screaming Skull. Highlight blue with Screaming Skull. Highlight green with Screaming Skull. Highlight red with Screaming Skull. Purple. You know what I mean? Like, highlight any of those colors. Throw a little bit of Screaming Skull in as your highlight color and build up to, that. Yeah, you're going to end up with some really great looking colors. It just looks really kick-ass, It's a fun way of adding color. I mean, using Screaming Skull to make a highlight for black, you end up with this browny gray kind of tone. Looks really great. I highly recommend it. Try it. All you guys out there. And girls. And aliens. And demons, possibly. And monkeys. Rezio, I use Liquitex. Also mix in some Vallejo Flow Improver and or water. I always play with the mixtures, and sometimes it fails, but often is great. Okay. I mean, if that's your process, that's your process, man. That's your process. I can't say nothing. Because, I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you're right. And it kicks ass. And, yeah. So, I mean, I've not tried it myself. I've never really used Flow Improver or Flow Aid in that capacity. I usually use it for shade washes and stuff like that. I usually don't add it to my colors, even when I'm airbrushing. Just don't, but whenever you use it, you should only need a drop or two, unless you're mixing like big batches of color. But even then, it's not necessary. Fighter Drake 18. I made it briefly, maybe. Dark Commission, episode 225. Damn hippies and their psychedelic paints. I like it. I'm gonna use it. Good call. So, Dark Commission. Good job. Once again. I'm saying, man, I've been saying that a lot lately. You're probably getting tired of me saying that. Or maybe it's all gonna go to his head. Maybe he's gonna, I don't know. Where am I? Sorry. Lose my place here. Change it. There we go. Geofits sitting here with my Dragari Reapers and Raiders. Need to put Retributor Gold on them, and not very motivated today. Well, when you're not feeling motivated, I mean, sit there and putter with something else. It doesn't mean you have to, hammer right to it. I mean, if you can sit down and just kind of get to it, then by all means. But I mean, if you're not feeling like it, man, just, do something else. Putter around, clean up, reorganize, do something. Get moving a bit, and maybe you'll get inspired by something and you say, oh, you know what, maybe I'll do this. And, oh, here's something that's been, bubbling in the back of my brain. And then it's not a tumor, and and I'll go and I'll tackle this task, and of course too, if you're not really feeling motivated to paint and stuff like that, maybe you got other things you could be doing, right? Maybe there's other chores, or stuff on your honey-do list, or whatever. I mean, like I said, real life comes first. You got to do with those kind of things, Then you can get to the hobby time. Then you're free. Your mind is free to enjoy your time, right? But if you got things bubbling in the back here, you can't enjoy what your time. You got to go take care of that. Just get rid of it. Take care of it. Or get rid of it, or ignore it. One of the two. Dark Commission. Oh shucks. Speaking of Dark Commission, let's There we go. Wait, hold on. Ghost Armor Delight. Kris complains about painting hippies despite getting high from sniffing typhus corrosion. Excuse me. Where's typhus corrosion? Do I have a bottle of it? Thought I had a bottle of it nearby. Anyway, I was just gonna take a big haul off of it. Anyway, speaking of Dark Commission, anybody who follows my channel noticed this morning I posted a video. The the challenge, whatever this was, Dark Commission has won a prize. And, like I said in the video, he did it. And he did it well. And the pictures are kind of hilarious, really, because I like how there's nobody around, you know what I mean? And it looks like the sun is just coming up. So, I mean, I think Dark Commission was hiding in the bushes and waiting until like no cops were around, and then came over and put the shirt up. And anyway, he's won. He's won the prize. What did he win? He won himself some Artis Opus brushes. He's such a fantastic painter, and I mean, you know, the talent is obvious. I mean, anybody who's been watching Way of the Brush previous episodes with his busts that he's been working on lately, I think, you know, his skill is obvious. And so how do you reward such skill? Some more brushes. Because we can always use more brushes. Especially when we take care of them and we have all these nice, beautiful brushes, and we can, you know, it's like having fine weaponry. It's like choose your weapon, and you have like all these pistols on the wall. It's like, I think I'll go with that one. And, you know, it's kind of like that. So, that's what Dark Commission have won for sending in, completing the impossible task, as it were, apparently. But here's the first one. Way the brush on a space marine. Now, I said on the statue, I did not say the statue had to be wearing it, because that would just be a feat of impossibility, I think. I would have even, I was kind of surprised, because I'd figure somebody would like take the shirt and like, you know, just like take the portion of like the, you know, the logo and everything like that, and just put that on the shoulder pad. You know what I mean? Like, you know, I was kind of surprised nobody did that, you know. But anyway, that's the first one. It's just sitting on, you know, the Marine, which is cool. But I really like this one. I like the shot. Looks good. I use this actually for the thumbnail for the video. Oh, excuse me. I like that it is, blueberries. I like it's on the knee pad. And it would actually been kind of fun if it was, you know, the shirt was kind of tucked in as the knee pad, kind of making it look like the knee pad, like the logo on the knee pad. I think that would have been very, very fun too. Because, I mean, like, I realized, like, this, it looks like the sun's coming up, and I think, like, you know, Dark Commission he was hiding in the bushes, he was waiting for, like, the traffic to go by. Because look at that parking lot. The parking lot's empty. And so it was nice and early before all the GW employees showed up and everything could call the cops on him or something. So, yeah. So I really like that one. And then, of course, we have this other one here with the rhino. And, yeah, that's a lot of fun. The shirt on the rhino. The shirt on the rhino. I think that's really cool. And so, yeah, so congratulations to Dark Commission for completing the task. Because, I mean, the task, I mean, like, man, like, how long have I been talking about this challenge, right? And we finally have somebody who claimed the prize. And, of course, Raziel had created a model, which wasn't entirely what I was looking for, but it was still equally as awesome. And so that had to be rewarded. And, of course, completing the challenge, and he did it. And, you know, because I figured, like, a bunch of you from the UK would have just, you know, because I'm sure, like, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe, you know, like, somebody from the area said, well, yeah, I'll tag my shirt and throw it on the thing. And, you know what I mean? Like, now, as I said in the video, the winner video for Dark Commission, they're still open to get a picture of yourself with Duncan and Duncan wearing a shirt. Any color shirt, I don't care. It could be the monkey shirt, it could be this shirt, whichever shirt. But that's the other challenge. What's the prize? I don't know. Something good. I got something good for Razion. I got something good for Dark Commission. So if anybody completes that task, you know, just saying. Just saying. I'm just saying. Fire Drake 18. Brushes. We don't need no sticky brushes. Actually, I do. Even though I bought some 2 weeks ago. Dark Commission. I should have put the shirt under the under the skull of the under the skull of the rhino. Would have looked like a monkey in a shirt. Oh damn! I gotta see that picture now. Wait. I gotta see that now. Under the skull of the rhino. Oh, yeah, and come over and get that in the frame better. Yeah, that would be funny. In the exhaust on the tank, did they just paint the holes in the exhaust? They didn't actually just use like sheet metal and drill some holes in it. That seems kind of a waste. They just painted the holes on. That seems kind of ridiculous. Oops, wrong one. There we go. But yeah. Yeah, it just seems, kind of funny. I don't know. Fire Drake 18, kudos DC. Ghost Diamond Lux, still don't have a shirt. Struggles of being a teenager. Hey, like I said, yeah. Some people have the extra resources to, spend on Patreon and buying t-shirts and such. Some of us don't. That's fine. Helping Kris out is liking, commenting, subscribing, sharing the video. Right? So, there's many ways. Dark Commission, I live 15-20 miles away from Warhammer World, so would have been rude not to. And thanks again for the brushes. Yes. Well, thank you for playing. Thank you for adding those pictures, because, those pictures are awesome. And they're going to get added to the shrine, and I might use them for other things. I don't know. Might end up in the intro. Who knows? Of which I have yet to begin filming, but... And of course, I haven't quite pestered my brother to, refine and redo anything. He's been busy, so I've been letting him take care of business. Dark Commission, next week I'll do it. Okay. Raziel, Kris, did the mini wargaming crew like the model? Yeah, Matt thought you had made a decal, a decal, transfer, sticker for that design on the shirt. He was like, no, that's not freehanded. And I was like, yes, man, that's freehanded. Like, that's the skill level of the monkeys, man. Is that, these guys who are getting aid from me. This is the kind of skill level these guys are. You're dealing with here. You're dealing with some next level painters, man. You're dealing with some real pros. No, I didn't oversell it like that, but anyway, but honestly though, he was like, no, that's a transfer. And I was like, no, that's freehanded. Look, you can see the brush strokes. I said, like, look at it and you can see it. And he's like, wow, that's like impressive. And he was impressed by it. And Steve really liked it. Everybody liked it. I showed everybody. Mike, who's our advertising manager, yeah, he immediately wanted to take a picture and put it on Facebook, but I was like, no. I said, because basically I was going to make the video and everything like that, because I wanted, because my crap, my model now, right? And I wanted to, show it off first. I didn't want, it might still show up on the Facebook. We might add it just for giggles at some point, right? So don't be surprised if you see it on the Mini Wargaming Facebook or Instagram or both. Maybe. We'll see. Yeah, and so, it was kind of fun too, because I noticed in the Chug-a-Mug, Dave was wearing his Way of the Brush shirt in the Chug-a-Mug, which was kind of fun. He had actually started wearing it again, because I had bought that shirt back when I initially designed these shirts, and I had got one for Matt and I got one for Dave. As you can see in the intro, you'll see them, right? And, you know, Matt, I haven't seen Matt wear it in a long time. Dave has been wearing it again because Dave had dropped a bit of weight again, and so he was fitting his shirt again, and he likes this design of shirt, like not so much, you know, I should say the design of the shirt, but more the fit, the you know, the comfort of the shirt. He really likes. So yeah, it's not so much that he likes the design. He'll just wear anything, right? But as he likes how it fits him. He likes the arms because it makes his arms look big, I guess. Jib, wait, what was that? Next level painting shout out, Kris? Next level painting shout out? Kris? Was it? No? Next level painting shout out. No. I'm confused. What do you mean? Was that a next level painting shout out? Oh! No, I mean, it's just an expression. I mean, that's probably why he uses it, because it's just an expression. It's a very common expression, right? I mean, yeah, no. Because I was talking about, like, you know, everybody taking their painting up a notch. How's that? Up a notch. I don't know. But no, it wasn't a shout out. Fire Drake at Kris. What do you think of the GW stream? What do I think of the GW stream? What GW stream? I don't know. I don't mean, like on Twitch? Like when they post stuff? Good? I don't know. What do you think of the GW? Man, you guys are throwing all sorts of curveballs at me here. I don't know what's going on. I'm like, I don't know. I don't know. Darker Mission, when I get back to Warhammer World, I'm going to get a sat-nav to save me being totally lost for an hour and a half in Nottingham with a busting bladder. Jeez. Nottingham, is that a big town? Is it a big city? Sounds like fun. Yeah, because that's where Warhammer World is, right? It's Nottingham. I always thought it was London or something like that. London's like the big town, right? I don't know. What do I know? Anyway, yeah, I don't know what Fire Drake. I don't know what do I think of the GW stream? I don't know what it was. Is GW streaming right now? Is that what you're telling me? I mean, oops, not that. I don't know. Is that what's going on here? Is that what I'm dealing with? A GW streaming? I don't know. I couldn't tell you. Because I don't know what the heck we're talking about. Fire Drake. GW showcase new models in Dark Fortress and more. Okay. I don't know. I see the stuff show up on YouTube. I catch the YouTube stuff. I didn't know that they were showing that on it was Friday. No, honestly, guys, I don't really do a lot of wargaming videos. I don't pay attention to Twitch wargamers. I don't pay attention to YouTube wargamers. Yeah, I just, you know, I don't pay attention to a lot. I catch GW's announcements of stuff, or when they're showcasing, or when they're announcing products, new products. Like I'm excited for Blackstone. I'm excited for that. That looks cool, and the models and stuff. But it looks like I don't know. The latest video of it shows like just kind of a flat kind of board for the board game. I realize it's supposed to be like a Warhammer Quest, which is the dungeon crawler. You know what I mean? And so, is this going to be like a sci-fi dungeon crawler? Interesting. The models look great. So, I mean, just picking the box set up just for the models is going to be a very common thing, I think. But as far as like watching wargaming videos and stuff like that, I don't really do it. I don't do it. I mean, like really, realistically, I rely on you guys to kind of keep me informed as far as like, you know, what's going on in YouTube and Twitch land kind of thing as far as wargaming is concerned, because I don't pay attention to it. Because I don't watch it. I'm watching other stuff on YouTube. I'm watching, I'm doing other Twitch. I mean, like, if I do feel like doing a live stream, I'll do it on Twitch just because, just kind of spread the, the views around kind of thing. I mean, I could make entirely everything Twitch dedicated or entirely YouTube dedicated or, whatever, but because I have different platforms, I spread it all around. But otherwise, yeah, I don't do a lot of wargaming. I mean, like, for YouTube, my history, like my viewing history. Here, I'm gonna pull up my viewing history. I'm not gonna show you guys my viewing history because I don't know. It's not like there's anything bad on YouTube, so I mean, like, it's nothing like that. But where the hell's my history? Why can't I find my history? Where is my history? I am lost. Oh, there's my history. There it is. Damn YouTube. Anyway. Come on, I clicked history here. Let's go. What the hell? So anyway, okay. Like my history, like the last 4 videos I was watching Tool, the band, Korn, the band, Slipknot, the band, and that's a whole bunch of Slipknot. And then I was watching a visual effects artist reveals the true scale of the universe. That was another one. And then I was watching the Warhammer Quest Blackstone Fortress reveal trailer. Then I was watching some Slipknot. I was watching Slash. I was watching Veritasium. I was watching Late Night with Seth Meyers. I was watching some CNN. I was watching How to Drink. That's a fun channel. Unbox Therapy. I was watching some of that. More Slipknot and Disturbed. Bright Insight, which is another fun one. It's some different kind of stuff. Basically, he was talking about the location of Atlantis. If you're not familiar with that one, then it's kind of fun. Then I was watching some PBS Space Time. I watch a lot of that one. The PBS. Another one I was watching, Patrick Willem. He was talking about Michael Bay, understanding a true American auteur. Some Stone Sour, Korn, Slipknot. Some Late Night with Seth Meyers. You know what I mean? It goes on. Oh, another guy I watch is Tagamo Model Works. I watch that guy. That's probably one of the few not wargamer. He's a modeler. And he does everything from, Star Wars kits. He does like LEDs in them and stuff like that. And of course he does like the big vinyl kits and stuff. But yeah, so watch him. News. Today I found out, you know what I mean? Like I watch, there's no, other than that one modeling video, and Games Workshop, there are no other wargamer stuff I watch on YouTube. Just what I do. You know what I mean? It's what I'm into. Mainly because, I mean, I do this all day. 5 days a week, 8 hours a day. I'm doing Warhammer and wargaming stuff. And, at the end of the day, I'm spent. I'm just not interested, Most days. Aaron Seach, howdy Kris and Monkeys. Fashionably late entrance. Welcome. John J. Gasp, I'm late. Dark Commission, I've been thinking of starting a YouTube channel of painting vids. Any thoughts? Go right ahead. If you've got the time, go right ahead. Do you have something to offer? Of course you do. So why not, right? The hard part is just getting the time together, The biggest bit of advice I'll give you, if you're starting a YouTube channel, is, and this is a hard one, but this is what separates good channels from the mediocre channels, is consistency. Be consistent, right? I think that's pretty self-explanatory. So that's the biggest bit of advice. Also, okay, no, here's another big one. Don't worry so much about your camera. Worry more about your microphone. Okay? Bad visuals can be forgiven. Bad audio is unforgivable. People will tune right out if the audio is bad. Right? So, audio. It seems counterintuitive to making videos, but, you know, that's it. So, consistency, good audio. And then you'll be well on your way into, you know, whatever. Fire Drake 18, I like Unbox Therapy. I like Unbox Therapy too. I've actually considered maybe taking a road trip over to his studio. You know, just like a tour, just to kind of check his place out, because I mean, it looks like a tech toyland kind of thing. And he's really not that far from where I am. He's like in kind of north area of Toronto, and yeah, so yeah. John J. Looks like GW news is that they are clamping down on Chinese recast companies. How are they doing that? How can they possibly do that? They have no jurisdiction unless, of course, they change the laws in China, or they pull all their business out of China, which will only probably encourage more recasting, and it will drive their cost up, so the model's price will skyrocket. Yeah, I have no idea how they expect to clamp down. Or even in Russia. There's recasters in Russia. Yeah. And, you know, again, they don't have the same copyright laws. That's why Russia and China, we're seeing all these recasts from. Because they don't have these copyright laws. Even, where is it? Germany? Poland? One of those two. They have different copyright laws as well. And, you know, as you know, you can get away with recastings and stuff like that, or something like that. Something about the copyright laws are different. But as far as GW clamping down on Chinese recasters, how are they going to do that? How are they going to do that? They're going to, you know, bring one of these Chinese companies in a lawsuit? That'll take 10 years to litigate. Never happen. And guess who pays for that? Anytime a company invests money into new R&D, or has to go through a lawsuit, or insurance premiums go up, or any cost for the company that goes up, especially a publicly traded company, guess who pays for that? You, the consumer, you pay for it. So, you know, if they're clamping down on recasts, and it doesn't cost them a dime, then okay, I could see it happening. But if it's going to cost, and they have to open up a whole new department for something, or they're going to go and fight, or, you know, whatever, you're going to pay new costs. Their costs are going to go up. And any business, this is true of any business, the consumer pays. They don't pay. The shareholders don't pay. You pay. James Isted. Either way, good day. Good day, James. EU copyright law is standardized. Okay, so everybody that's in the union is the copyright law is standardized. Okay, well, I mean, great. It wasn't always so, but I mean, like I said, Russia and China are big culprits in this. And anybody who's purchased Recast knows what I'm talking about. You know, so, you know. John J., not sure, but word has it that they sent out cease orders, something about their intellectual properties. Letters. That's not going to do anything. You have to change the laws. The laws of the land. You have to change that. You have to change those. That's why it's like the Wild West as far as copyright law is concerned in Russia and China, because they don't have those laws. They're not likely to change their laws anytime soon, because why? Because there's so much profit to be had in that system. You know, paying people pennies for labor, because work is so cheap and they have abundance of physical labor, you know. You don't see like a lot of Chinese companies that have a lot of robots. You just don't. Why? Because they have labor is their currency, you know. That's why everything's manufactured in China. They have so many damn people, and they can pay them pennies. Rezio, man, working on the Orc Commission and hoping to get back to my own Death Guard. Awesome but torturous. Death Guard. I just finished book 4 of the Horus Heresy last night. Book 4. the Flight to the Eisenstein. Anyway, Eisenstein. Really good book. I enjoyed it. Thoroughly enjoyed it. I like Nathaniel Garrow. He's a really cool character. And it's fun to kind of, you know, it's one of the few instances. I mean, like I've talked about this in the past where, you know, Space Marines, it's really hard for the reader at times to identify with a Space Marine, right? Because how do you identify with someone who's superhuman, who has no fear, and, you know, technically Space Marines should be pretty unrelatable because, I mean, you know, they're different from humans. They're a different species. And Nathaniel Garrow, for the most part, by the end, he's human, you know, which is different, you know, and which is kind of fun and kind of cool. And I really, really enjoyed that. And, you know, I enjoyed it. And I can't remember what the 5th book is now. I've got him anyway. But yeah, I really, really enjoyed it. I thought that was really good. And man, I was like, how are they going to get out of this one? And how are they going to get out of this one? And it's like, oh my God, you know, and it's like, oh man. I mean, the first 3 books of the Horus Heresy are really good. Everybody keeps telling me the first 3 books are just great. I don't know. I mean, they must have missed the 4th book because, man, the 4th book was just as great. It was exciting. It was exciting. And there was one part where I almost had a tear in my eye. There was almost a point I had a tear in my eye from a moment in the book. It was evoking so much emotion in you know, in what was happening to Nathaniel and to the people and the whole situation of everything. And then, of course, when he meets Dorn, and then Dorn is like super pissed off, right? And yeah, it's really, really great. Raziel, dude, Flight of the Eisenstein is sweet. I love James Swallow's writing. Yeah, I'm not familiar with his writing. And yeah, I enjoyed the book. It was great. I thought it was excellent. John J. Kris, have you chosen a fave kill team? Eldar. Always Eldar. Led by an Exarch, sniper here and there, Avenger, and a couple Guardians, maybe a heavy weapon. That's pretty much what I do for a kill team. I would like to convert up some Eldar and do up, you know, like a little kill team. I haven't gotten around to it because, you know, other projects and stuff, and, you know, there's only so much time. There's all these ropes. Everybody's pulling at me with different directions and do this, do that, and you know, I want to do my own. Oh, excuse me. Jeez, that was a burp, hiccup, cough thing. Anyway, somebody out there right now just threw up in their mouth a little. But anyway, yeah, you know, I'd love to be able to just kind of work on my own projects. But yeah, everybody's kind of here and there. You know, do this, do that. And, oh, we want this. And, anyway, Fire Drake 18, a couple of years ago, there was a Primarch for about $25, and GW was selling them for $100, and the recasts were flawless. Yeah, the recasts, I mean, I often turn my nose at recasts in the past. Like, I'd see, because, like anybody who's familiar with my Eldar army, all my models that are Forge World are legit Forge World. They're legit. Vampire Bomber, I have four Phoenixes. I have 3 Nightwings. I have a Type 1 Scorpion, and I have a Eldar Lynx. I have the Avatar, and I have one of the add-ons for Wave Serpent, the early Wave Serpent add-ons. And it's all legit. Honest. You know. I don't have the receipts, but I'm sure Forge World can go through their records and see that I purchased all those things at some point in the long history of Forge World. But anyway, and in the past, I would see like a recast of, like, you know, a model I had purchased, and then I'd see it online, or somebody would have it, and I look, and like I'd see like bubbles here and there, and missed details and divots, and you know what I mean. And I was like, oh man, you should have just went to Forge World for the damn thing. I mean, and spent, you know, the $100 more. I mean, you know, and get a good model. It would save you time. You know, and yeah, but nowadays, some of the recasts, yeah, they're flawless. Yeah, they're just as good as the originals. I mean, if it's a bad cast, I mean, it was probably a bad cast from the original, right? So, you know, but I don't honestly, I don't encourage it, but I can understand why, you know. I mean, I've always paid the premium price on Forge World. I've enjoyed the models. I enjoyed them too much, and I really didn't care about saving the penny at the time. I just enjoyed the sculpts and stuff, and I really wish Forge World would do more Eldar stuff. They should. They should do more Xeno stuff and not concentrate so much on frickin' Imperial stuff. But it's so easy for them to create Imperial stuff. And the thing is, I noticed too, Forge World is now 3D printing their kit, their models. I was looking at like Nathaniel Garrow. I was looking at him from the Horus Heresy character sets, and you can see the print lines on the model. Go to the site, look at Nathaniel Garrow, look at the close-ups of the model, and you'll see the print lines on the thing. So it looks like either they painted the master, or they did like one of the first molds out. They painted that because it still had like all the print lines and everything like that. But yeah, very, very cool. I mean, to each his own. You want to drop your money on recasts and deal with toxic resins and stuff? Go right ahead. And that's the other one too, is I noticed that Chinese recasts early on, yeah, you start cleaning them and shaving them and stuff, and whew, you just get all sorts of chemical smells. I suspect they use it to thin the resin so that they can get more casts out of resin. I think that's what it is. They're cutting it with something. Because, man, that smell is toxic. Toxic! I mean, oof. Anyway, Reziel, Book 5 is Fulgrim. Okay, Fulgrim. James, I believe it would be classed as against UK competition laws for GW to stop shops from buying from the UK, shipping it out internationally. Not sure if it's ever been challenged. To stop shipping their kits out internationally? I have no idea. I have no idea. I don't see why they couldn't. You know what I mean? Like, if the UK didn't want to sell to the United States, why not? I mean, it's going to create bad feelings, but what's stopping them? Other than losing out on money, losing out on a big market, right? And of course, GW is a big company that has a lot of shareholders who are looking forward to their big dividends. So, yeah. Mad Hoser, get a haircut, you hippie. I don't know who you're talking to. Ain't me. I ain't got no hair. Except this little tuft on the top of my head. Ghost Diamond to look. Chris, thoughts on the new Ranger model in the Blackstone Forge? Love it. It's great. What do you mean? Thoughts? Come on. It's Eldar. Looks awesome. I'm probably gonna have to get this box just for all these kick-ass looking models in it. It looks awesome. Mad Hoser, Chris is too legit to quit. Jim White, email time? It is getting close to email time. What time? Holy crap. That's not the time, is it? It's damn near 1:30? No. Yes. Oh. I better put the pedal to the metal here, I guess. Dark Dimension, having bought quite a few resin busts and figures, I must say that Forge World casting is so poor quality. I didn't know how they have the audacity to charge high prices. Now, yes, we can go back and forth over the quality of Forge World, as opposed to other people's castings. The thing to remember with Forge World is they're doing it on such a large scale, right? Everybody around the world is buying their models. We go to little boutique websites and buy the little collector's bust of a particular thing, and you know what I mean? The quality control is a lot tighter because it's a smaller thing. But they're not putting out the numbers that Forge World is. Forge World putting out a huge whack ton of resin out there. They're putting that resin everywhere. Forge World prices, in comparison to 15 years ago, like when I bought my Scorpion, it was $300 then. That was damn near 20 years. No, 18 years ago. 03, I think, is when I bought that tank, the Eldar Type 1 Scorpion. I'm pretty sure it was like 300 Canadian I spent on that. That price has not changed. GW's prices have gone up. GW's prices for models back then, you could still get a box of Tactical Marines for less than $50, right? What do you get for Tactical Marines these days? You get a little bit more, or you get less models for this at that same price point, which means effectively it's double, right? Something like that. Forge World prices have not really changed. Some models here and there, yeah, the prices have changed. They've dropped kits, stuff like that, because I mean the rubber molds, they wear out after time, you know, because they're constantly wearing and tearing at them, and you know what I mean. It's like it's like a tire, right? Eventually, it's just going to wear down, right? So just like these molds, they wear out, and if it's not selling, they're not going to replace it, right? So why bother? But yeah, Forge World prices in like 20, well, not even 20. I don't even know if the company's been around 20 years. That's got to be damn near. But anyway. So when I picked up the Scorpion, yeah, it was like $300 Canadian. And that price hasn't changed in 15 years. GW's prices have changed. And now the cost of buying models is like paying Forge World prices. And Forge World prices have not changed that much in comparison, right? And so, you know, GW, you pay a lot. You pay a lot. You pay a premium. I like this. I've always worded it as that. Because you don't have to buy the models, right? It's a premium price. This hobby is a luxury hobby. We're all in this hobby because we have disposable income. And the disposable income goes to our hobbies. This is our hobby, right? So, can you really put a price on your happiness? So, yeah, I mean, Forge World's quality, sure. There are kits, I've seen them myself. I mean, and typically, I mean, you buy, a kit and it's warped and stuff like that. It's because it sits, or they're working at a pace where they're demolding it and they're not allowing it the proper time to cure. And so when it goes into the bag or it sits in a bin, it just warps. But I mean, it's an easy fix. It's annoying, but it's an easy fix. And Forge World is priced as such that, you know, you're paying the premium price tag on those things because you're going to spend the extra time modeling. They're the Forge World's for modelers, right? That's why Finecast failed. Finecast was a switch to resin, and every goober and their brother or sister didn't like working on resin because they didn't know how. That's why Finecast. That's why there was such a backlash with Finecast. It wasn't because of the quality. People buying Forge World years before that, people were still buying Forge World. Forge World is a successful company. I mean, like, these arguments are completely ridiculous. You know, it's because the goobers out there, the little mouth breathers, didn't understand how to work with resin, and that's why it failed. If GW was resin from the beginning, there would have been no qualms about switching to Finecast, other than being brittle. John J. Kris, I'm sort of with you. I just bought a red Alabama from Pedro Fernandez. Only she was limited edition, and so PF didn't have her to sell anymore, even though I offered to pay double. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Kris, now I still don't feel like I own a red Alabama. I'm not sure what red Alabama is. You're mentioning it like I know what it is. As I've mentioned before, I'm not completely with it, people. I've been in this hobby so damn long that I don't know what heads from tails anymore. I don't know. Sometimes I get lost and I think, oh yeah, that'd have been cool. And I say, wait, they did come up with that a long time ago. Oh yeah, that's always been there, you know. Anyway, Fire Drake 18, a little Chinese lead never hurt anyone. Yeah. And I mean, any of you guys out there who are adamant purchasers of, you know, recasts, 15 years from now, when you're sitting there and you've got lymphoma and all sorts of, you know, diseases going on, I mean, I'll be sitting there going, hey, should have probably bought from Forge World. No, I wouldn't be doing that. I'm not an ass like that. Yeah. Sir Peanut Butter bought some 3D printed shoulder pads from Shapeways, and they also smelled really bad. Well, 3D printed, I mean, is different. It's not casting process. It's a printer, and it's melting, you know? So there's a melting process that's happened. I mean, you know, PLA, I mean, is a common one, but I mean, like, if there was a resin print, that's in my office. I still gotta get that painted too. But anyway, yeah. It's a different process though. Mad Hoser, are they going to mass produce these models? Mass produce what models? I don't know. What models? Steamy Demon, yeah, but GW quality has gone way up from 15 years ago. Forge World is still bad. Excuse me. Sorry for everybody who had headphones on there. Yes, well, but I mean, the Forge World is a separate entity, and for the most part, the company, I mean, a lot of that stuff was hand built. Like you look at the vampire, the Eldar vampire, you can see where the little, you know how Eldar tanks have that ribbing underneath. You can see that those are hand laid into the model when they made it. You can see that like it was a handmade model. Now that everything is 3D printed, and you know what I mean, like, you know, yeah, there should be no excuses for these kind of things other than, you know, whatever. And I mean, it's nature of resin. I mean, you know, and it's mass produced. Nobody else is doing mass produced resin that the scale of Forge World's doing it. There's no other company, not Cromlech, not, you know, Spellcrow, you know, nobody's doing it on the mass that Forge World's doing it. And stuff's gonna slip through the cracks. You know, it's nature of the game. Nature of the process. If Forge World worked in styrene plastic, yeah, you'd see far better kits out of them. Dark Commission. I was looking at displays in the Forge World shop yesterday, and a large portion of them looked like they were sculpted by kids with Play-Doh. Sure. I mean, I'll take your word for it. I don't know. I haven't seen the displays. Matt Hoser, that is called Dementia. Welcome to the club. John J. Kris. Sorry, Google's search Red Alabama PF works. She's gorgeous. But yeah, bought her from eBay and pretty sure it's a Chinese recast. Oh yeah, if it's eBay, yeah, guaranteed. If it came from China, it's a recast. Matt Hoser, Kris, the new female ranger, and other new game ones. The new female ranger. Yeah? Okay. Kris, if you haven't tried it, do Horus Heresy audiobook. It's friggin' revolutionary. I'm already on book 20 something after 5 or so months. Yeah, I can't. I talked about this last time. I can't do audiobooks. I mean, I can do audiobooks, but I don't know. With an audiobook, I feel like I should just sit there. Because, I mean, like, I listen to music, and sometimes I'll slap an album in, and I'll just listen to the album. I'll just chill out, listen to the album, right? Audiobook, I'd have to do the same thing. I wouldn't do anything else. I couldn't do it while I was hobbying or, you know, whatever, right? But no, I like reading. I like reading. I like the words to conjure the imagery. That's how you know you're dealing with good writing, is when you read it and it conjures the images in your mind. I mean, you know, yeah. An audiobook, I mean, it's like listening to a radio play, right? It's like watching a movie, right? It's being thrown at you rather than you interpreting it and then coming up with it, you know? I don't know. I like reading. Like it's some sort of attack on my senses or something, right? I like reading. Piss off. Jim White, FYI, Red Alabama is a female vampire. Ooh. Strange name for a vampire. Raziel, I don't purchase recasts. I just nearly never purchase Forge World either. Sure. I mean, if you don't ever have to purchase Forge World, I mean, why bother, right? But I mean, with Forge World, you know, the Horus Heresy stuff is huge. You know? I'm trying to think what the heck was the last thing I bought from Forge World. I think the last thing I bought was my links. And that was fine. There was nothing wrong with that. It was clean. Just knocked the edges off. And the only thing is, though, sometimes is, which is kind of, you know, annoying. It was very annoying. Because I remember with the links last time, it had very large channels for the mold. And so, of course, when you're dealing with, basically, you're shipping by weight, and, you know what I mean? And they're charging according to how much resin they're using, like some sort of formula, I'm sure. They don't just willy-nilly make up a price. They might, but I doubt it. They most likely go by how much resin they're using per hour and how long it takes, you know what I mean? And that's how they come up with their prices. They just, you know, mark it up by 3, of course. That's, you know, standard for retail, right? And, yeah, with Forge World, especially with some of the newer kits, like, I mean, I know with my links, like, it had big chunks of resin that you just lop off from the model. But you paid for all that resin. You paid for that resin, you know? And that's kind of annoying. I will agree, that's annoying. Matt Hoser, Kris. Put two questions together. Are they going to mass produce the new female ranger and the other models outside of the game? Well, what have we seen it before? Have we seen that before? We've seen something similar with what was it? Dark Tower, Silver Tower, right? That had a whole bunch of models in it, and then all of a sudden they were sold separately. So, yeah, we might see these models in this box set. Really, I think what would be the telling factor is when you open the box, if the models, like if the Inquisitor is, or whoever, whatever, right? If the Eldar Ranger is all on one sprue, then we're likely to see that thrown into a clamshell, right? But if it's part of a big sprue, then they might retool it, or I don't know, or it might be just part of this box set and never be, seen again, right? Because I mean, like the Terminators from Space Hulk, they've never been sold separately, right? To my knowledge, anyway. Holy crap! It's 20 minutes to 2. Show's almost done. We haven't even done an email yet. Let's quick skim. Yeah, we'll just quick skim. Blah blah blah. Aaron Seach, love reading, but the audiobook of World War Z is fantastic. Listen to while I paint all the time. See, like I said, I can't do two things at once. I can't listen to an audiobook and pay attention to it and paint, because painting requires all my attention, and I wouldn't be listening to the audiobook. You know what I mean? It would be pulling out my brain in two different directions. So that's why I don't do it. With music, though, I'm just, it's like jazz, man. It's just free flowing, and then just, I'm doing whatever. My thoughts are just everywhere, and I can concentrate on what I'm doing, and you know what I mean? Like I'm just, it becomes kind of subconscious, right? Just subconscious, and it just, yeah. It's like jazz, free flowing thoughts, right? Audiobook, I'd be trying to listen to the story while trying to concentrate on my painting. Not going to happen. You've been doing both half-assed, I think. And that's with anything, really. That's with anything. You got to dedicate yourself. You truly want to master your painting, you got to dedicate your like 99% of your attention at it, right? So, yeah. Dark Commission. Speaking of Finecast, the only model I attempted, I was halfway through painting it until I found that half of the details were casting buttresses. I laughed as I thought it threw it in the bin. Laughed at myself. Yeah. Oh yeah. I on the website on Way the Brush, I posted a little write up I did because I was annoyed by playing with Finecast. Like, these are Finecast Scorpions, and like there was like little buttresses all up. In fact, I probably still, like, I'm looking at this Scorpion, I probably still missed one or two here and there, I'm sure, somewhere. I probably won't see it until I prime this model, and I'll go, oh frick, there's another frickin' buttress. You know what I mean? That was the other thing with the Finecast, was all the cleanup, right? All the cleanup in the models. But anybody who's been working with Finecast or working with resin kits or even garage kits, like any modeler who worth his salt has worked with resin kits before, garage kits and stuff like that. It's not new. It's been last 30, 40 years that people have been doing it. For the longest time, garage kits was the thing. Hell, I mean, Armorcast was before Forge World. They're a separate company, of course, and they were doing the big Titans and everything like that, which I have one of the Phantom Titans. And, even those had a bit of cleanup. And those were just big, blocky, simplistic forms. And they still required cleanup. But a modeler, no problem. Modeler, it was nothing new. Big freaking whoop. Models got air bubbles. What are you going to do? You know what I mean? It's the nature of the process. Even pewter models, when the mold starts getting, when the model mold gets old, or the pewter is not heated to the right temperature, it can burn the mold, and you ended up with this really rough texture on the model. Sometimes the pewter wouldn't flow into all the channels, so you had like little stumps where the model should have continued on. Games Workshop still sold all that stuff, no problem. You still made bank off that. Of course, then I was only paying like $10 for 5. No, not even $10. It was like $8 for like 5 striking scorpions at the time. Used to get 5 in a blister pack. They sold squads of 5 in a blister pack. Man, sometimes I miss those days when my hobby was a little cheaper. But mind you, though, the dollar was a little different than then. And I remember too, like the Armor Cast Titans. I remember those things were only $100, $200 back in the day, and that was, my God, $200 on a model. Are you freaking crazy? Man, my dad used to catch. I used to catch hell from my dad all the time, because I was spending like $20 on a plastic tank. It's like $20 on a plastic tank. Are you kidding me? So I used to catch hell for that all the time too. I used to catch a lot of hell back in the day. My parents gave me a lot of shit. John J. Kris, does looking at pictures of models help you find the buttresses or mold lines? Yes, actually it would, because otherwise, yeah, you wouldn't know, right? If you're brand new to this hobby and you pick up an Eldar striking scorpion and you didn't know exactly what an Eldar striking scorpion should look like, yeah, your model most likely will have all those little buttresses all over them, right? I mean, again, for a modeler, these are not problems. Somebody who's familiar with the line, not a problem, right? A well-experienced modeler, not a problem. Somebody brand new to the hobby, it's going to confound them and it's going to blow their minds, and it's, you know what I mean? It's going to really piss them off. And again, that's why the line failed, because all these new people and people who are trying to get into the hobby, and they were having such trouble with this material. So yeah, you're right, John. Look at what the model should look like, and then you can lop off those little buttresses, you know, because you don't know if that little triangle is a detail or what, especially on an Eldar model, because it's not based in any kind of reality. So how do you know what that detail is supposed to be, right? So yeah. Holy carmoles. Jim White. Well, partially listening to this show, I found a mixture of Caucasian flesh. Progress. Okay, so you know what? Because what time are we at here? Holy carmoles, we got 17 minutes of the show. Let's do an email. So headphones. email time. Email time. And of course, we always thank Guymere Alpha, aka Carl, aka Beer and Blood Bowl. That's the channel. Check him out for taking the time to create those jingles for us. I know I already mentioned them in the beginning, but mention them as often as I can, because I really appreciate the fact that he made these things. And of course, maybe if I redo the intro, maybe I should pester him to see if he can redo some email jingles. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe not. Either way, this is from our good buddy Geofits. No updates on the Drukhari this week, so have some Astra military models I completed a few months ago. The Red Shirt Regiment. Their motto is, "We're meant to die for the Emperor." Sorry, excuse me. So let's have a look. This is his Red Shirt Brigade. So it's a very heavy Star Trek feel. Obviously, I think it's Star Trek models. It's probably lead models. Like, are these proper Star Trek models? They look like it. At least, yeah, because the little phasers look like Star Trek phasers. And that little cat over here definitely looks like a Spock character. But either way, this is kind of hilarious. Oh wait, crap! I forgot to set the pick. There we go. Sorry. Oops. Back. There we go. Yeah, because he's holding the tricorder, and that looks like the classic tricorder. So yeah, these are proper Star Trek models. And I can see like they must be lead or something, or pewter. So I can see the little tab under their feet and everything. We got the mortar here. If you had phaser guns, would you really employ a mortar, or would you use some sort of proton torpedo launcher or something? Maybe that's what it is. Maybe that's what it is. It's a proton torpedo launcher. It's not a mortar. It's a short-range proton mortar. I don't know. In Star Trek, really, I mean, if you can teleport, do you think you would bother developing fixed positions? Like, realistically, like, if we were thinking about sci-fi battling in the future, really, would you, like, if you had the ability to teleport safely and quickly, do you think you would have fixed positions in a battle line? Would you? I don't think you would. Excuse me. He's got the Trek. I like he's got the whole chin beard thing going on. He's got the sunglasses. He's obviously a Captain Kirk type character, right? This is really cool. I like it. Yeah, they got the proton launchers. Because, I mean, like, would you have, you know, shoulder-fired proton missiles or something? Or, you know, would they use, like, you know, caliber guns? You know, would they have, like, auto guns? Laser gun, I suppose, right? Because, I mean, it's a big, you know, laser. So, a las cannon, I suppose they could still use. If they were sticking with the theme of the army. But otherwise, yeah, I really dig this. This is funny. This is clever. And I dig it. I like it. It's... Now, are there vehicles for this army? Are you using standard Imperial Guard, or are you like, you know, converting up kind of Star Trek-esque kind of tanks? Because I know in Star Trek, I know some of the video games, they always have, you know, like the Federation tanks and troop carriers and stuff like that. So I'm wondering like, if that's something you've possibly considered. I don't know. But anywho, thank you, GeoFits, for sending that in. Awesome stuff. Very well-natured and everything like that. And, yeah. So, next email is... Oh, this one's from Dark Commission. This was just his sending it over to me. Hi, Mighty One. Went over to Earhammer World. Earhammer? Yeah, Earhammer. I missed that. I thought it said Warhammer. It's Earhammer. This afternoon and took these pics. Afternoon? That was the afternoon shot? The sun was so low. I thought it was night. And this shot here, this first shot, this looks like it's done in the dark. Anyway, they're not ideal, but at least the best I could do. Cheers, John, a.k.a. Dark Commission. And so, of course, big thank you to John, a.k.a. Dark Commission, for achieving what I thought was an easy task, but apparently was an impossible task. And John was up to it, and he met the challenge. And so, yeah. Congratulations. And of course, I gotta ship that stuff off. I didn't ship it off yesterday. I'll ship it off Monday. I honestly think it doesn't really matter when I ship it off, because I think it's going to take forever getting out of the country anyway. So, because again, Canada, I'm pretty sure in our area it's on strike. It's messed. It's messed. It's chaos. It's bedlam. And you know, yeah, it's done. We're done. Fire Drake. Could you imagine Star Trek crossing over to 40K? Those poor yeomen. Yeah, I think that'd be hilarious. I mean, I've talked about this in the past, but in the old Imperial Guard, do I still have? In the Imperial Guard 2nd edition Codex, I don't have it there. It's lost to time, I think. Or maybe it's at the office. Either way, the 2nd edition Imperial Guard Codex. Now, I don't know if the further Codex, if the older 3rd edition, 4th edition, whatever, if they retold the story, but I always liked the story about Lord Macarius, anyway, where he's basically on a crusade, and he encounters a world and it's humans, but they hold off his crusade fleet for like a long time because of their hyper technology. So they had some sort of advanced technology on this human world, and he ends up just bombing them with mass drivers, and they eventually submit to the Imperial will. Which, you know, is kind of crazy when you think about it, right? Like, you know, you think, oh, well, because they got the most advanced technology and blah, 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 you know what I mean? And here's this brutal war machine, and it just, you know, bombs them into submission, and then, you know, it's just kind of funny. So, yeah. Anywho, let's do one more email, or another email. This one is from our good buddy, Tucci Kranos. Hi, Kris. thought it was about time I sent an email. While I was clearing through my man cave, I was cleaning a box of old minis that I have, and was thinking about whether or not I would ever paint them. I've attached pics of an old classic Space Marine land speeder I have, which is BNIB, new in box. But what's the B in front of the new box? Brand new in box. Anyway, from back in '88, that's when I got into this hobby. It has never been built, painted, or anything, and I find that I just couldn't bring myself to paint this now unless it was for something really special. I have some other models with which I'm waiting to get good with my airbrush to paint due to their size or because I have a particular effect in mind, but I want to have a few really old classic minis which I just want to keep in their current state. Likely this is because I'm a collector, painter, and less gamer at this point. Yeah. Question for yourself and the monkeys. Do you have any models that you won't paint unless it is something really special? Because it's really old model, needing a piece of equipment like a airbrush to do well, or just has a lot of sentimental value. Thanks, Gary, aka Twitch Kranos. And so this is for everybody out there. And are there any models in your collection that you just aren't touching? So imagine a lot of you new guys, or newer, or those who, feel that you don't have quite the experience with your painting yet to achieve certain effects that you want to achieve. I'd imagine a lot of you guys probably do have some of those models from whenever that you're saving for when you get better. I have none. I'm just sorry, I'm looking around. I'm seeing if there's anything that I might prove myself wrong. No. And I'm trying to think if there was anything like that in the past. No. Because a lot of my miniature buying way back when was based on my gaming. So if I needed the model, I bought the model and then painted the model because I needed it. And, some models I bought early on because I just liked the look. Like when I first got into, even before I got into Warhammer, I was just buying up models from multiple model companies. I was buying from Raw Partha, Citadel, trying to think of some of them older companies, but I can't really think of any right now. Anyway, and I have kits right now that I want to do. I still have a whole bunch of Star Wars kits that I want to do. It's not that, I'm waiting for anything in particular. It's just haven't, had time or the drive to get to them at the moment. I just, again, real life takes precedence, and so a lot of times I just don't have the time, and that's really what it is. I don't have time between work and family. And really whenever I do have some extra time and I feel like sitting down, sometimes I feel like I should be filming it or be on Twitch or something like that, right? And so then I will, but otherwise then I don't, right? So it's quite a conundrum, because when you become a YouTuber, when you have these opportunities for fun stuff and different things and stuff like that, you end up, bringing the camera and doing something, or, turning the camera on and going live, or, you know what I mean? And you create content because you become this content creator. And so like Dark Commission, you want to get into YouTube, you're going to end up seeing a lot of missed opportunities, and so, yeah. Oh, you know what? I forgot to show, oops, here we go. I forgot to show the pictures that were with Twitchy's email. And I remember this packaging. Man, this was a long time ago. Man, look at that, eh? Man. Back when everything GW was made in England. Imagine that, eh? Imagine if everything was still made in England. Probably cost a lot more. I remember I had this kit. I had one or two I had picked up for this. And I always had a bitch of a time getting these damn engines to hook up onto the back. And back in the day, before I learnt to score and properly clean my models, yeah, that was a pain in the arse. Right in the arse, right in the middle. So thank you, Twitchy, for sending that in. Awesome. Great stroll down memory lane, as it were. Yeah, so let's jump to another email. What time are we at here? Holy man, there's 4 minutes left to show. So I'm doing all these emails. So let's do another email. This one is from our good buddy Congo. And it can't be helped, but I think I'm going to end up showing his email address. So just because he sent them back to back. And I'm not sure how to avoid this. But anyway. Orc Bad Moon Warboss, I've been working on decent tabletop standards. CNC, please, from Congo Bufarius. And then the second one is one of the Minotaurs from the Zealot Miniatures Kickstarter. Got for a fairly tan skin tone. Going for a fairly tan skin tone. Higher tabletop. And so let's check out. Now this is a classic model. This, man, we're talking about classics. Look at this son of a gun. You know what? I might still have this one. Oops. Anyway. I might still have this one. But I mean, you know, with a modern paint job, very, very nice. Really nice skin tone. And you know what? I think that skin tone is an old school style. Yeah. Really nice. I like the edging. It's nice and clean. Like, look at the detail on the Bad Moon, and then the little black flames on the shoulder pads. Really good paint job, actually. Really good. So here's the back. And of course, back when all orcs had that back plate, you know, and then depicted, you know, like their clan symbol or, you know, whatever, right? Very, very cool. Holy moly. Minotaur. Very cool looking model. I'm not exactly familiar with it. I'm going to assume this is still mostly work in progress, because it looks like you're just getting the flesh and the metals down a bit. Nice work in the flesh. Really cool looking sculpt. Yeah, really good. I honestly can't think of anything in particular to add to that. No. The old school Bad Moon Warboss. He just looks like he looks good. I mean, it's an old model, and so I mean, like, doing a classic kind of color scheme and classic kind of paint style on it, because that's kind of how we used to all paint it back in the day. Yeah, you know, looks good. And as far as the Minotaur, yeah, it looks. Oop, jeez Louise. It looks good. I mean, I still realize it's work in progress. The flesh tone, I mean, looks good. I'm not sure exactly, you know, like where you're heading. I mean, you might, if you're going for a higher tabletop, you might want to push the highlights a little further, maybe push some more of the shadows in a bit, or, you know, maybe push towards more browns and a little less flesh tones. You know, I mean, I'm not sure exactly which direction you really want to go with them. So, I mean, you know, I guess this is probably something we can talk about later, but yeah, I think where you're at right now, I think it's fine. I think I would just push the contrast a little bit more, especially if you want to go for something a little bit more higher tabletop standard. You might want to, you know, push your contrast a little bit more, go with a little bit deeper browns, a little bit more blacks toward it, maybe a little bit lighter flesh tones, maybe concentrate a little bit lighter tones on in towards the center or up on the chest and up on the head a bit, you know. But yeah, just to get that contrast happening. I mean, you know, just a thought. Quickly in the comments here. Yeah, really nice work. Steve McDemon, I have an old 1:48 scale Tamiya Mustang P47 on which I screwed up the paint job so bad I just threw it in the corner. It's now on my desk as a motivational help, like Like in it could be worse kind of thing. I think with something like that, I think I've done it before, where I screwed up a World War II kit, and I ended up just making a piece of terrain for our 40k games and stuff. And so, yeah, but Fire Drake, everything was so more was so more colorful and checkered back then. It was, and it still is. Everything's still very colorful right now, and I think that's good. Like especially for Warhammer 40,000, where you know, there's a lot of bright, bold colors at play. It makes the game look much more interesting. When like Lord of the Rings, you look at Lord of the Rings models, and you give them the realistic kind of paint jobs from the movies. They're very bland and boring looking models. They're boring, and when you look at a whole table full of it, it's boring. You look at a 40k table in comparison to Lord of the Rings, 40k looks way more cooler than Lord of the Rings, because it's those realistic, muddy kind of tones, you know. Now, if you were doing display type standards or competition type standards to the Lord of the Rings models, and you're using realistic tones and you're taking pictures of it, then yeah, it's going to look fantastic. It's going to look great, especially if you made it look like it was from the film. It's going to look beautiful. On the tabletop, not so much, right? On the tabletop, having, you know, all those bright red blood angels on the table looks far more exciting than painting, you know, little dark goblins. It's just boring. I think that's why Lord of the Rings always struggles. Because it looks boring on the table. It's boring. Stop boring everybody. You know what I mean? It's just boring. All right. Really quickly here. Let's do another email. This is from... I guess I should help if I click the button to go to the email, right? This is from Dan, a.k.a. Pyre Captain Daniel. Am I on the right screen? Yeah, I'm on the right screen. Okay. Hail, O mighty monkey lord. I seek your aid and knowledge of the brush and the wisdom of the paint. Sorry, went off on one. Anywho. Okay. Why, was there more in the middle there? Is there secret text in the middle there? No. I thought maybe there was white text or something in there. Like somebody was throwing a hidden subliminal type message at me. Anyway, Kris, I've been working on the Namarti Thralls for my Ideneth Deepkin, and after some deliberation and discussions with friends, I finally managed a different color scheme that I'm quite happy with. These will be my Sundar Deepkin. Ooh, Sundar. Firstly, please, could you critique the attached photos of one of the Thrall I have completed so far, bar the base, of course. Secondly, I was originally wanting to do a type of wave base where it looks like they were walking through the water, and after doing some searching, what do you know? You've done one in the vault for your Lotan video. However, as you can see, I have already glued my model to the base, an old habit I need to amend as I'm starting to see the benefits of doing the base separately. Do you think I could get away with spraying the base as it is if I mask the model itself, or would it be best to rip the model off the base and complete separately? Finally, while watching your Lotan video, I noticed that you had Lotan stuck to a paperclip. I think you said it was before you drilled the hole and pinned them into the base. I've seen many people use this method but not fully understood it myself. Do you simply insert the paperclip into the cork and superglue the model to the end? Then, as you did in the video, drill a hole and glue it into the base? Thanks as always, Daniel, Pyre Captain Daniel. P.S. I'll send another email immediately after this one with some additional pictures, which wouldn't it all fit in one email? With the other 9 thralls, which are near completion, it gives another perspective to see groups of same color scheme. P.S. Sorry for the wall of text. It's not a wall of text, but yeah. So, okay. So yeah, we'll get to the pictures of your Deepkin in a moment. Okay, as far as the base, yeah, you could, because I'm pretty sure when I did that base, didn't I not attach the model and then do the base? Because you can do that wave and water technique with the model attached, and I thought I've done something with that. Oh, you know what? No, it was with our Patreon group. Yeah, and we did the wolf, and we just did the... Now, there was a lot of room there to do that, but essentially it's the same theory. You just move that gel around and, you know, move it into position. So, yeah. And as far as the paperclip is concerned, yes. I usually take a paperclip. I have a little pair of little grips that I straighten the paperclip. Jab it into the cork, make sure it's nice and secure in there. I don't glue it or anything, I just jab the pin into it, and it's usually got enough tension that it keeps a nice, good, firm grip on the paperclip. And then, of course, trim the paperclip if need be. I make sure I hand drill the hole into wherever I'm guiding the part into place. And then just a tiny amount of super glue, and then attach. And I usually only drill about... probably like 2-3 millimeters into the model safely, and I imagine drilling that depth into the model. I imagine that depth, so I imagine how far I'm going as to not drill through the model, right, and come out like, you know, the top of his calf or something like that, right? So never really too far. Sometimes some models might be of size where you might want to drill into both feet and put 2 clips into the feet and really keep them sturdy, right? Typically, I do that when I'm doing a lot of airbrushing. If I'm going to do a lot of hand painting, I can attach the model to the base and just paint the model. Again, I was keeping it separate because just the way the model was kind of arranged, because the octopus was kind of finicky and only had 2 contact points to the rest of the model. And so... you know, I wanted to paint them separately so that I had all these tentacles and I wasn't having to work around all those tentacles, right? So that's really why he was painted separately, was just ease of getting access to other points. So yeah, but that's pretty much the process I do for when I'm using paper clips. I don't always use paper clips, but when I'm doing a lot of airbrushing, that's when I'm using a lot of paper clips to do, you know, parts separately. Like my Blood Bowl team I was just working on, I didn't attach them to anything. I glued them to the base and I sprayed them, as it's obvious because their bases are yellow, right? So, you know, I just attached them. And I'm doing them just for game pieces, so, you know, it's not like it's, you know, a big thing. So here we are. And here is his Deepkin. I really dig the color scheme. I think it looks good. I like the gold use of the weapons and that nice warm brown hue, like for the legs. It looks almost almost, oh, what color am I looking at there? That's almost like Avalanche Sunset with a sepia on top of it, almost looks like. Or maybe even like Ushabti Bone with a sepia on top of it. But anyway, it looks really good. I like that little touch of purple in there. The blue in the armor looks really nice. And the brown and the leather of the boots and stuff like that brings back some grounding, you know, gives you kind of a nice bounce of these cool and warm colors on the model. The flesh looks fine to me. I think... I mean, it's nice. It looks nice and clean, and I mean, it looks like you're gaming with these pieces. I mean, I can see like on the hand, there's a little touch of color here and there, stuff like that. You know, there might be little errors. I mean, you know, you just take your time, clean those things up, and yeah. I mean, the edging or the highlighting on the flesh, somehow that looks a little chalky. I'm looking at like the side of his pec and his rib. No, I can't tell from there. It almost looks like a little bit chalky, and I'm wondering maybe if your primer was a little heavy. Do be mindful of that. Oops. Do be mindful of the heavy primer. Yeah, I like that purple. I like the color scheme. I really like the color scheme. It looks good. I like your choice for the weapons as well. That really warm, almost like you're doing almost like a kind of non-metallic metal kind of look. But again, yeah, be careful of how much paint you're laying down, and also, you know, how thick your paint is as well. Be mindful of that. But I mean, it looks like, you know, you're early to this hobby, and you know, I'm really surprised at really how fast people are progressing at this. Because I was talking with a young fellow who's in playing a game the other day, And he was only in this hobby for like, I think like 5 years, I think he said, or 3 years. And his painting was really, really good. Like even his first models to his current models, I was really impressed. And I'm like, man, I wish I could have progressed this quickly when I was young. And it's because of the internet. It's because this information is everywhere, right? And so, yeah. But really, really nice work, Daniel. And I'll quickly get to the other email here as well. And here's the other pictures. And so, yeah, here's the whole unit. I like the color scheme. It looks really good. I like your choice for the weapons, actually. That's really what it is. I like that, what you did there. And it works really well. And especially with that really bright pale blue almost. That almost looks like, man, I don't even know what color the blue that is. I don't, is that even a Citadel color? Is that even a Citadel color? It's got to be, right? It's got to be. I'm thinking it is. What color is that? Oh, it's got to be the Thousand Sun blue, right? It's the Thousand Sun one? Or is it the blue that came out with these guys? No, they don't come with the blue. They came out with a flush tone, I think, when these guys came out. But yeah, I really dig the color scheme. And I mean, when you progress, as you progress further, you know, you'll start to push your contrast a little bit deeper, create a little bit more separation. The color scheme, I think, works great though. You know, I think you could even afford to deepen the purple. Start off with a deeper purple and build to a brighter purple towards the end. Really kind of bring that out. But otherwise, yeah, I think it looks fantastic. Looks really good. I think really all I got to say is keep going. You're painting really, really well. You know, and I'm sure you're going to probably progress very, very quickly, as everybody these days seems to be doing. And yeah, so holy crap, we're already almost quarter after the hour here. So yeah, so that will be it for our emails today. Well, that was everybody that was before the show anyway. I know Ben, you sent an email. I know. We'll get to it next week. I'll save it for next week. We'll let that marinade a little bit. I don't know why I threw the cooking term out there, but anyway. Yeah, really nice. Yeah, and everybody's commenting. Really nice work on it. Yeah, you know, Techless blue. It's Techless blue. Okay, it's Techless blue. On the camera, it looks very, very striking, and Techless blue really isn't that bright. Do I have a Techless blue handy? No, that's an Underhawk blue. Anyway, it's bright, but it's not like, you know, the way the picture was showing it. But also, too, that's because of the warm colors he's using, right? He's got that contrast. Because blue with really orangey brown works really, really well because they're close to complementary, right? It's a blue with almost an orange. And because brown oftentimes has a very orangey kind of quality to it, right? So, yeah. Pirate Captain Daniel. Thanks, Kris. Appreciate it. Yeah, no problem, dude. And please send me more pictures of your work in progress. I'd love to see, you know, how... I'd love to kind of keep track of everybody. Like one, you know, and I'm I always say this. I've mentioned it before and I've said it before, but I mean, like a painter like Johnny Wraith, you know, when he was first submitting pictures, you know, and you could see his latest work. And I mean, you can see as he's progressing, you know what I mean? And every time you guys keep sending me pictures, you all are, I can see your progress. And, you know, it's really, really fantastic. And I like to think, probably not, maybe, I don't know, but I like to think I had some small part in it. So, yeah. So, if you're brand new to this hobby and you need some help with a color scheme, or you just want help with a technique or what have you, if you're attending live, you can always ask your questions in the comments when you're watching the show. And of course, if you're watching the show after the fact, after it's live and it's posted, you can ask your questions in the comments, or you can send me an email, Kris@miniwargaming.com. It's in the description below. Of course, you can always join me at wayofthebrush.com. It has links to all the social media and Discord. Discord's been really fantastic. It's been a lot of fun. It's been a fantastic way for us to stay in touch. And of course, usually after the show, I usually jump onto Discord, and we all end up jumping onto Discord, and we all kind of talk for a bit and laugh and share ideas and, you know, ask questions and, you know. And of course, Discord is open all the time. So, I mean, you come and check, and usually there's a lot of silliness because a lot of the monkeys are just running amok, and that's fine. That's fine. because usually they're not running amok during my show. Which is probably why the show has been flowing pretty well these days, because nobody's trying to derail me, or, you know, everybody's being pretty civil, because basically the Discord, everybody's getting that out during Discord. So it's been really great, actually. It's a place for the monkeys to be monkeys. And so again, waythebrush.com also has links for the t-shirts if you want to help the cause and help Kris out, and, you know, it helps keep, you know, Kris's costs down, and, you know, also helps to pay for prizes and stuff like that for whenever we do anything fun. It always greatly appreciated. Of course, you know, I'm only ever charged for Way of the Brush each episode. I do other videos. I usually don't charge for those. And so, you know, I think you can figure out what kind of, you know, what it's going to cost you to help support me. I think, you know, anybody who's looking at that, thank you very much. And of course, everybody who does already currently support me, and brand new people who've just joined up, a big thank you for all of them, because, you know, it kind of helps me, it incentivizes me to, you know, to do more, to do better, you know, and to make this better, to make this great. And that's the goal. That's the goal, is to make this really, really something awesome and really kick ass, and, you know what I mean, and fun, enjoyable, accepting, you know, everything good in this world. That's what I want. I want someplace good. Don't we all just want something good? So, waythebrush.com, t-shirts, help the cause. Of course, everybody who's purchased a shirt, send me a picture of yourself in your shirt, and I'll add it to the Monkey Shrine, because, you know, again, this show is always about you guys. You guys sending me emails. Be sure to send me emails. Keep the emails coming, because otherwise, you know, I wouldn't do the show. I just wouldn't bother. I wouldn't wake up. I'd stay in bed. Saturday, for God's sake, it's Saturday. I'd still be sleeping right now if I wasn't doing this show. And then I'd wake up and I had a sore neck or something like that, and I'd be grumpy all day. So it's good that I'm up early on a Saturday and do this. And it's fun talking to you guys all the time, because, I mean, you know, we laugh and we have fun. Sometimes we get into heavy topics, and sometimes we are pretty light about things. And either way, it's always fun and enjoyable. Waythebrush.com also links for the patron. Keep going off on tangents there. Links for the patron, of course, you know, big thanks always to my patrons. And of course, Guymere Alfer, aka Carl, aka Beer and Blood Bowl, that's his YouTube channel. Check him out for taking the time to create the email jingles that we all know and love, and puts a smile on our face. And yeah, so I think we're done. Fire Drake 18. I'm the serious one. They say if you lick Kris brushes, you gain all his painting power. Fact. There's a joke there. I can make it. I'm not, but I could. We could go. We could take this show into an R rating or X rating right away. Also, too, fair warning for everybody who hasn't been on Discord before and it's brand new to you. Be warned. Be warned. It's not for the weak. It's not for the thin-skinned, and it's not for the weak. So I want to thank everybody for joining me today, and, you know, tuning in. All my patron supporters, we're going to start our paint-along tomorrow, the 4th, at 1 p.m. I'll send you guys a notification, and I'll send everything out as usual. But yeah, we're going to do our Patreon paint-along tomorrow. We're going to start it. We're not probably not going to get to some painting tomorrow, just because I'm probably doing it from here, and I don't know, I don't feel like setting up my airbrush. Because I don't have a proper booth. I'm still waiting, and if he's watching, or if anybody else is listening or knows, or what have you, see my big mess on my desk? I contacted Austin, Death Ray Designs, fantastic company, really great products, different, and he's got a really ingenious way of making things from MDF, and, you know what I mean, that nobody else is doing. I'm sure people are imitating him, but he's really innovating, and he's a very clever guy. And I asked him a particular thing about paint racks. And so if you guys want to send him a message and say, hey, where's Kris's paint racks? I'd greatly appreciate it, because I'm sure that, you know, don't bug him about it, but, you know, just inquire. Just you know, I know Kris was talking about a paint rack from Death Ray Designs. You know, what's is there anything up? Is there any updates on that? Don't be an ass. Just, you know, send him a gentle, kind message, and you know. Knitfing, still waiting for my bus to arrive. Are you waiting for your bus to arrive? Really? Was it from the company? We'll have to talk about it. We'll message about that one later. Okay. Is there any other patrons? I'm gonna have to start. We'll start a thread in the patron paint-along thread. But anywho, yeah. I can't remember where else I was going with this. Jeez, it's already 20 after. I can't even do anything. Take care of your brushes. They'll take care of you, and I will see you guys later. Much later. Not much later. Next week. Or maybe I'll do a live show later. Or maybe I'll do one I am doing one tomorrow. Because we're going to do our paint along. But, yeah. Maybe. Probably. Why are you still here? Go home. Or go do something. Go paint. Or listen to an audiobook. Or we'll just sit here and stare at each other for like the next half hour. I'm just going to sit here. If you're not leaving, I'm not leaving. I'm out of coffee, so maybe I will leave. Seriously, though, turn this off. Go do something else. Be productive. I knew Twitchy you'd say that. All right, I'm getting the hell out of here. Let's go do something. Jeez Louise.